I'm going to briefly discuss some stock options. Stock options are granted by companies for incentive purposes. The company would grant a certain number of shares to be exercised within a 10-year period. And generally, if the stock is in the money, the employee would exercise them. There's two kinds. There's the qualified and not qualified. Not qualified are a little more simple in that once they're exercised, the spread between the grant price or uh, what the employee is paying for the stock or exercise price is going to have a spread between that amount and the fair market value at the time the employee exercises those shares. And that will be treated as ordinary income and usually shows up on a W-2. And the employer also gets a tax deduction for that amount of ordinary income, again, showing up as W-2 income. That's also the employee's basis in those shares for later purposes for how and when they sell the shares. It could be within the 1 year period, would be short-term capital gain, or over a year long-term. Now, the incentive stock options or the qualified plans, there's two requirements that you have to meet in order to get long-term capital gain treatment on the sale of a incentive stock option or ISO shares. And the first is that you've got to hold the shares that have been granted. In other words, they were granted more than 2 years ago. And then after you exercise the shares, you have to hold them for more than a year and a day. And then once you do that, then you are eligible for the long-term capital gain treatment. Now, if you exercise incentive stock options in 1 year and you do not sell them, and there is a spread, of course, in other words, the exercise price is less than the fair market value at the time you exercise them, that's considered AMT income and could be giving you an AMT tax, which basically means that your AMT tax calculated is more than your regular tax. There's ways to avoid that AMT tax, and a couple of them right offhand could be exercising some more non-qualified shares that would create ordinary income. Also, another way could be you would sell some of your incentive stock option shares before the 1 year holding period. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to call me, 303-447-1626.